Welcome back, folks. Is a Trump versus Clinton matchup all but inevitable? Not if the crony G.O.P has anything to say about it. One thing for sure about this entire election, this entire delegate game is being unmasked and exposed in front of the American people. It's kind of like watching sausage being made. And one last question. What the hell is John Kasich doing? Let's start with that. I mean, obviously he's trying to position himself to be a vice presidential candidate.
No, what he's positioning himself for is, in case to go to the beginning of your statement.
The contested convention?
If in past years, the super delegates, they were there, but nobody talked too much about
Right.
them.
Well, we talked about it in 2008 when Clinton and Obama were going after each other.
But I mean, it was never a major issue. But it was sort of a marginal issue. Now it's becoming a major issue because of the establishment. You never heard of the Republican establishment or the Democrat establishment. Now you realize that these are the guys that want to control the power. We blamed the people running these parties for having all these candidate forms. That's just, window dressing in order to make everybody feel that the people are the ones that are nominating.
Should John Kasich drop out of the race?
Absolutely, because all he's doing is just hanging in there, hoping that there will be a brokered meeting.
And you can hang in there as long as you want. Rubio could have hung in there. Jeb could have hung in there.
No.
Christie could have hung in there.
No.
They didn't have to get out.
No. You ask me a question, I say...
Rubio has more delegates than Kasich does. And he's been out for a month and a half.
I told you, Kasich is in there with a hope that somehow on the outside chance that this whole thing suddenly goes to a brokered convention.
But couldn't Rubio have done the same thing?
Yes, but Rubio chose not to.
And Kasich should do the same thing.
So you asked me the question. I said, Casey is doing this because he's more interested in saying, well, maybe I'm the guy that they're going to have to go to. And he's being totally romanced by these polls that show he will do the best against Clinton.
I don't believe that, do you?
I don't either. But the point is he is encouraged by it. And if he drops out, he's not there to take advantage of it.
Do you think him being as popular as he is in Ohio makes him an attractive VP candidate?
Well, of course, he's probably been a good governor of Ohio. Ohio is a critical state in any election, and he's done well by the people of Ohio. So, the one thing, what happened with Rubio is he was beaten badly in his own state, but he was a senator. Kasich has been a governor. Kasich also, by the way, worked for the Lehman Brothers company, which was one of the...
Back in 2008.
Yeah, 2008, when they were one of the ones that caused the crash, exactly.
And he goes back to the Reagan administration. He was a congressman for 17 or 18 years.
Look, I'm not criticizing him. You asked me a question. I think he's hanging in there strictly in the hopes that somehow he may still be the guy they come to. If he chooses to walk out, let's say right now, and that those delegates go either to Cruz or they go to Trump, then he can't come back in. They're not going to go. By being the third person in this trio and the weakest and with no chance, that his only hope is a brokered convention.
Should Hillary be scared of Trump?
Not really. I think the polls... first of all, she's now wrapping up the deal and putting away Sanders. The very fact that Sanders went as far as he did and did as well as he did.
I don't think they expected that.
With a kooky program. I mean, the guy is not only a socialist, he's a communist.
And the crowds that he's attracting are in the thousands. Hillary might get 500 if she's lucky to an event. He's drawing 28, 30,000 people to an event. That has me scratching my head a little bit.
This guy is so pure in his way of looking at economics. The first thing he said he would do is get rid of fracking. I mean, that's a whole oil industry today. Now, he couldn't do it even...
Well, we talked about this off the air earlier. Fracking's been around since the 1930s or 40s. I mean, this isn't like it's a brand new thing.
No, well, that's not the point. But the point is right now, it's the one thing that took our basic energy development from 3.4 million barrels a day to over 10 million barrels. We've cut back dramatically in the last year or so because of prices. But yes, it's a big thing today, and it will be in the future, both for oil and natural gas, which has a great future as far as exports are concerned. So this guy I still think he's a joke in a way, and the very fact that he came as far as he did shows me the weakness of Hillary Clinton.
I believe that she is a very weak candidate, and
Yes,
the fact
she
that
is.
they had nobody on the bench to even challenge her except for Bernie Sanders shows you how weak it is.
And if she didn't have Obama to back her up and not allowing some of the FBI investigations that have been going on and making them public, that's the only thing she's got going for her, because of those poor people that got killed at Benghazi have asked for justice, and nobody's giving them justice.
Do you think the GOP will go as far as to deny Trump this nomination?
No, I don't. I think if they do that, they break up as a political party.
It's like watching the crystal vase falling off the table when it's in midair and there's nothing you can do about it. It's going to fracture the whole party.
No, I think I think maybe I'm being a little hopeful in saying this, but I think they will realize that if he has the votes, becomes within maybe 25 votes or something like that, and if he picks up most of Pennsylvania, Indiana, states like that are coming up in the next few weeks, and then finishes off with a big bang on June 7th in California, and comes very close. I think they.
How close is very close? 1237 is the magic number.
Yeah.
So you think
If he's over-
1100?
If he's over 1,200, I mean, there's no way. I can't pin it down, but there's going to be within 100 or so. If he's within 100 or so, to deny him the nomination.
And let's talk about this unbound delegate, super delegate, the way this whole process. I mean, this process has been going on for a while.
Long time.
When you look at the super delegates on the Democrat side, these are people that are designed to make sure that the people of the Democrat Party don't make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
And the unbound delegates are what they call it on the Republican side.
Well, that goes back again to 2008 when Hillary was not doing too badly, and it came down to two states, Michigan and Florida, and they were up in the air. There was some, and she was going to take it to the convention. And then George Soros got in the act, and he brought them together and said, I want Obama. And that's how Obama got the nomination. And he said, you'll be Secretary of State, and then you'll be the president after Obama.
So explain to the audience, they may not have known, because this has been around for a long time,
Yeah.
but I don't think the average Joe really realized, the process, how the sausage was actually made. This is the way I like to explain it. So explain to the audience what a superdelegate is.
Superdelegate is done by the leave of the basic political party and says, we have delegates that we indicate have already been chosen to make the right decision to supplement whatever
These are
happens.
congressmen, senators, governors, former
Whatever.
head honchos of the Democrat Party.
It's a way of controlling this method. This is going back, look, when you had the brokered convention, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, you didn't need that, because then you had the smoke-filled lobbies, they used to call them, and nobody would know what went on inside. That's why they call it smoke-filled. All the guys were smoking their cigars, making their decision. But once they went into these open conventions, they realized that this thing could get out of control.
So what it means is that they don't trust the American people, is what it really means.
Yes, they don't trust the American people. They figure, a guy like...
They might be stupid enough to elect Trump, or they might be gullible enough to elect Sanders, and we can't let that happen.
You just answered your question